Okay, picture this. You're in a truck, the engine's dead quiet, and your entire world is just shrunk down to the sound of your own breathing and the groans outside. The driver, Claire, her hand is shaking, ready to slam on the gas. But here's the thing. This isn't even the most dangerous part of your day. Not by a long shot.
See, the real danger, it wasn't the teeth and claws you're facing right now. Nope. The danger started hours ago with a series of choices you made. A series of psychological traps that you walked right into without even knowing it. So to really get how to survive this moment, we've got to go back.
So today we're going to break down the first 24 hours of a total societal collapse. And we're going to do it by looking at 4 critical psychological traps. Trust me, understanding these, well, that's the key to even making it to day 2.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. First up, we're going to uncover those subtle signs that pretty much everyone misses. Then, we'll talk about why trusting authority can be a flat-out fatal mistake. After that, we're diving into the impossible choices of survival, and finally, we'll expose the dangers of a false sanctuary. All of this is to figure out what it really takes to get through day 1.
All right, let's get into it. The very first trap, this one is the most common, and you know what? It's probably the most lethal. It's that deep-seated need we all have to believe that everything is and will be perfectly normal, even when reality is screaming at us that it's not.
So it all starts on your morning commute. You see an ambulance blow through a red light. Okay, weird. Then another one, and another. They're all racing somewhere you can't see. A minute later, you pass a car flipped on its side, but there are no cops, no fire trucks, just this wreck sitting there in this eerie silence. You finally pull into your work's parking lot, and it's total chaos. Cars are parked all crooked, some have their doors hanging open, and yet, what do? You do the one thing your brain is screaming at you as normal. You get out, and you walk into your office.
And boom, that's the trap. That right there is called normalcy bias. Your brain is literally working overtime to smooth over these massive cracks in reality, just trying to invent some logical explanation for it all. Choosing to believe that lie, choosing to just continue your routine, head into a job that probably doesn't even matter anymore, that is the first, and I mean the most fatal mistake you can possibly make.
Okay, so you've ignored all the red flags, you've walked into your office like it's just another Tuesday. Now you're about to fall headfirst into the second trap, trusting that the people in charge actually have your best interest at heart.
Suddenly, the power cuts out. The emergency lights kick on with that awful hum. And your boss? He locks the doors and feeds you some line about a chemical spill that the authorities have it handled. But you see his hands. They're shaking. You notice he won't look anyone in the eye. He's not trying to keep you safe. He's trying to maintain a false sense of order, and that's a whole different game.
So while he's telling everyone to just sit tight, the situation is getting worse, fast. You hear this wet, violent cough from the back office. It sounds like something is literally breaking inside of someone. Then a single, sharp scream cuts through the silence. And then you hear footsteps in the hall, and they just sound wrong. And by that point, your window for a clean escape, it's just slammed shut.
Let's say you do manage to get out of there. Well, you're immediately going to face the third trap. And this is the point where all the rules of the old world just die. You're forced to make choices that are, well, they're morally horrifying, but in this new reality, they're logically necessary. We call this moral arithmetic. Think of it like the new math of a collapsed world. It's not about what feels right anymore. It's about a cold, hard calculation. What gives the group the highest probability of survival? And yeah, that often means making a choice that feels absolutely gut-wrenchingly inhuman. And this isn't just theory. It becomes terrifyingly real when your friend Marcus, one of the few who escaped with you, pulls you aside and reveals he was bitten. He's begging you not to tell the others. He's crying, talking about his kids, all while you're watching his arm turn this sickly gray, his veins darkening right under the skin.
Suddenly, the choice is just binary. It's brutal. Option 1, cling to a sliver of hope and risk the infection of your entire group. Option 2, perform that brutal moral arithmetic and leave him behind, guaranteeing the safety of everyone else. There's no good answer here. There's just the choice.
So you get in the truck, you drive away, and the sound of your friend screaming your name as you leave him on the side of the road, that is the price you pay to make it through day 1.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most insidious trap of them all. After everything you've just been through, you find a place that looks safe. It looks like you've made it. But what you think is a sanctuary might be something else entirely. I mean, imagine this, a fortified compound.
You've got 10-foot fences topped with razor wire, you've got solar power, a well, a functioning greenhouse, even a medical station, and 6 months of stockpiled food. It seems like a literal miracle, and it's all run by this guy, Dale, a survivalist who has spent his entire life preparing for this exact day. It feels like you finally found salvation.
But then Dale says this to you. You always said I was crazy, and everything clicks into place. You realize his real motivation. See, he didn't build this place just to be safe. He built it to be right. For a guy like Dale, the apocalypse isn't a disaster. It's his moment of glory. He doesn't just want to survive. He needs an audience to watch him do it, to prove to everyone that he was right all along.
And that's when the horrifying truth hits you. Dale knows about a real military evacuation point, just 40 miles away. But he's been hiding that information from everyone. Why? It's simple. Because if you all leave for a real safe zone, his little kingdom becomes meaningless. He would rather turn his sanctuary into a prison than watch his life's work become irrelevant.
What you have here is a fundamental conflict of interest. Dale's ego has become a direct threat to your survival. He needs to be the hero of his own story, even if it means you don't get to be in the sequel. It's a hard lesson. The monster isn't always outside the fence. Sometimes it's the person holding the keys to the gate.
So, recognizing these traps, that's one thing. Escaping them is something else entirely. Your first 24 hours doesn't end with you finding safety. It ends with a desperate, frantic flight from it.
Just look at how fast this all unfolds. In less than 5 hours, you have to uncover Dale's lie, come up with an escape plan, confront a man armed with a razor wire baseball bat who has probably fantasized about this exact moment his whole life, break out of his compound, and then drive straight through a herd of hundreds of zombies, all just to reach a whispered rumor of real safety.
And when you finally make it, when you're lifting off in that military helicopter, you get to see the world for what it is now. From way up there, the burning city is just a handful of orange dots scattered across a black map. And the herds of zombies? They look like a tide, just this unstoppable force moving across a landscape you don't even recognize anymore.
But you survived. Through all of it, the denial, the lies from your boss, the brutal choices, the false prophets like Dale, you made it through. One day. But as you're looking down from the sky, the real truth of it sinks in. The morning commute is over. Your boss is gone. Your entire old life is just a ghost. You've proven you can survive day one. That's huge. But now, the real question is, what's it going to take to survive day two?